Morning, everyone. Welcome back for day 2 of our 15 days of the GPS for New Success morning study calls. We're going to get started today writing out your goal or making a list of your wants. Make a list of the things that you would want, just jot them down or free write. Thinking, what would you love? If everything was possible, what do you really want? Take some time this morning now to anchor yourself into thoughts of what you want rather than thoughts of what you don't want. So let's begin. And just a reminder, always in the present tense when we're thinking about what we want. right, we're going to take a little look at lesson 2, which is on increasing life. Now, when we look at the structure of the GPS for New Success program, the first 5 weeks are all about this foundation. If we don't have the foundation right in our beliefs and in our thinking and in about how everything fits together, then what are we building our lives on? What foundation are we building our lives on? It can be shaky ground. So this lesson is about looking at this principle that increasing life is the engine that drives all forward momentum. Like, we're meant to increase. If you look at trees, if you look at animals, if you look at babies, if you look at growth is normal, and we're meant to increase, we're meant to improve, we're meant to get better, we're meant to have more, right? Limitation is a false belief. It's this idea that we've created. Now, does that mean that we can have anything that we want? Well, not necessarily. Not if we're not willing to become the person, not if we're not willing to pay the price, not if we don't create the self-image that can hold it. We're not just going to get anything we want. But the principle of increasing life still stands true. So if you're not consciously growing, you're unconsciously disintegrating. There is no mistake about that. When you look at the law of vibration, the law of vibration decrees that everything moves and nothing rests. We're either in a state of growth or we're in a state of disintegration. So with our thoughts, we're either growing spiritually, intellectually, emotionally, physically, or we're disintegrating. This is why what we want is so important, and our self-image work is so important, and who we surround ourselves with is so important, and the environments that we put ourselves in is so important, because they're either going to raise us up or push us down. Our goal, our circles, our environments, our self-image is either going to hold us back or take us to the top. So we've got to understand that we must be actively looking for ways to grow. Otherwise, we're drifting. And if you drift for long enough, a ship without a rudder ends up crashing into the shore. So we disintegrate. We're going to go backwards. Every desire you have is a reflection of your spiritual essence seeking physical expression. So I really want you to remember that. And we're going to talk more about this tomorrow in lesson 3 of the GPS on desire. But your desires, what you want, are not just these random things you're pulling from your environment. You don't have to try harder to figure out what you want. You do know what you want. It's already within you. It's just been buried, right? It's been buried in noise, in old stories, in limitations, in negative self-beliefs, in all kinds of things. And then when we give ourselves permission to think about it, we're like, oh, no, like, I don't really want that, or that'll be too hard for me, or, we tell ourselves all of these sort of stories around it. But the truth is that your desires, what you want, is a reflection of your spiritual DNA. It's already in there somewhere in your psyche, in your makeup. And now it's seeking physical expression. The fact that you're becoming aware of your desires, the fact that you're becoming aware of what you want, is that spiritual side of you seeking physical expression. Your desires are evidence of the universe's plan to expand you, because you're meant to be expanded, right? So you can start to see the links here. Increasing life is normal and natural for you. So your desires, becoming aware, letting yourself see what's within you, is part of how the universe or the God within you expands you, right? Otherwise, how do we grow? How do we expand? The only way we can grow is from our ideas, because we think from our ideas. So if there's no new ideas, there can be no new growth. That leads to disintegration and death. Do you get it now? Type me a yes if you're starting to see how this links together and how important it is. So embrace your desires. Touch lightly with them, right? You're not going to rise or fall on any single one of them, but it's important that you start to open up to what your desires are. Don't judge your desires, because that's then judging a part of your spiritual DNA. We wouldn't do that, would we? Right? In the same way that when a child says, oh, I want to be an astronaut when we grow up, we don't put our thumb on them and say, that's not possible for you. Of course it could be possible, right? And yet you do that with yourself. You put yourself down, you hold yourself back, you think you can't do it. So don't judge your desires, and certainly don't suppress them. All of that negative energy, any of that anxiety, that fear, that doubt, that guilt is this suppressed energy, right? You're holding, it's like trying to hold the cork under the surface of the water when it just wants to bob up. There's so much force and energy that you waste every day, right? Um, Judging your desires, suppressing your desires, limiting yourself when the cork wants to bob. It wants to flow. Your spiritual essence wants to flow. Life wants to increase to and through you. And all of this energy, all of this mental energy is spent pushing it down or holding it back, right? You don't need to do that anymore. You can let the cork bob to the surface. Your desires show you where you can naturally increase life, the flow of life, the essence of life through you, that vitality. It can be your guiding force. The desire for money, more resources, and more opportunities is the same force that drives a plant to grow. That law of vibration, that foundational law of the universe that wants things to expand and grow to and through. The only way we can expand, or the only way that the universe, the God within us, the life force within us can expand is to and through us. Growth doesn't happen outside of us. It's not, the table can't grow, right? It happens, this creative process happens to and through us. And that same energy that grows the grass, that grows the tree, we're connected with. We're not separate from it. We're connected with it. We're just in the human being species form, right? We're not in the grass form. We're not in the dog form. We're not in the tree form. We're in the human being species form. So we're working with it in the way we can work with it, with our mind, right? The grass doesn't have a mind. The dog does have a mind, but only a subconscious mind. It's heavily influenced by what's around it, what's around us, and its paradigms are hereditary, right? And it's intuitive. It's already there. And then from its environment, it learns. But we as a human being species, we can think creatively. We can think consciously, right? So we want to understand that same force we're connected with, but we're going to use it from a human perspective. We're going to think what we want. We're going to feel what we want. We're going to put ourselves into the frequency or the vibration of what we want, and then we're going to attract what's on that level with us, right? If you're tuned to 88.8 FM, you can't hear what's playing on 105.67. Right? You can't hear what's on that frequency. You got to get on that frequency and then you can hear the music. It's the same with life. It's the same with the things that you want. It's natural and normal to want to experience increase in your life. It sounds ridiculous saying that to you, but you know how many people deep down feel ashamed or feel guilty when things are going well because so many people around them are having a hard time because the economy's bad and you're here wanting more. You want more money, you want more success, you want more opportunity, you want a better job, you want a better business, you want better clients, you want better love, you want better home life, you want happier children, you want. And then somewhere deep down, you're reminded that you should be happy with what you got. No, you should be grateful for what you've got, but don't settle, right? Satisfied is a dissatisfaction state. Like you want to be creative, you want to be growing, you want to be allowing yourself the abundance of the universe, the superabundance that exists for all of us. And it's a gift to share, right? Just because you are going to get more of it doesn't mean that someone else gets less. That's a false belief, right? When you expand you expand everyone and everything around you. Everything goes up for everybody. You're the center of a divine creation. So the more you can claim for yourself, the more you actually claim for everyone and everything around you. Let that sink in for the rest of your life, right? Think about what paradigm you're getting involved with, cultural paradigm you're getting involved with. Are you going to get involved with the limitations that people want you to believe, or are you going to get involved with the superabundance that exists to and through you and around you? And as you claim it for yourself, you claim it for everybody else. You live a happier, healthier, wealthier life. And guess what? Your light then shines all around the world, and everyone else that you come in contact with benefits from that. You walk into a room and you light it up. Would you rather light up the room or make it dark? Right? A lot of people are walking into the room making it dark because they're stuck in old belief, false beliefs, negative paradigms, cultural paradigms. You walk into the room and you're the essence of increasing life. That's what I want for you. All right, let's have a look at our quantum leap ritual. If this is your first morning joining us, welcome. Day two. I'm going to just guide you through this again this morning. So, 5 simple steps. Step 1 will be get still and relax. Step 2 will be trace around a picture that symbolizes what you want or sketch it out on your notepad. Step 3 will be read your goal out loud or just read out your wants. I'm so happy and grateful now that I'd love. Now that I have, just vocalize what you want, what you wrote down today. Then we're going to spend time visualizing yourself in possession of what you want. Try to see through your own eyes. Instead of thinking of yourself as a third person, looking down at yourself, try to see the picture through your own eyes and really make it your own. This is because the subconscious mind can only accept, it works in the present tense. So if we think we don't have something, the subconscious mind goes, oh yeah, we don't have that yet. If we start to actually enter into the spirit of the picture of being in possession of what we want, our subconscious mind doesn't recognize that we're only imagining it. It actually thinks we're there. And if we're there, then we must create the circumstances that match that picture. So visualizing through your own eyes. Then we're going to write down any action steps or ideas that come to us. I had one that came to me yesterday morning and I acted on it straight away. Finished by writing out, I'm making a quantum leap. I know exactly where I'm going and I'm open to the unexpected. And then date your entry, and then that'll close out our session. All right. So the first step is to get still and relax, which is very easy because it's that beautiful time of the day for us all. The next one will be to trace around a picture that symbolizes what you want. You might have that on your phone to trace around that picture on your phone, or just sketch it out. Again, we're just anchoring into that energy where this is all about anchoring us before we get into that visualization. Then you're going to read your goal out loud. And then when you're ready, close your eyes and visualize yourself in possession of what you want. Imagine that you're there and you have what you want. You've achieved the results or the goal that you really want, and you're actually there. What do you see? Put yourself into that concept of yourself, that time-space reality, and really enjoy that picture forming in your conscious mind through your imagination.
And when you're ready,
you can write down any ideas or action steps that come to you, and then finish by writing out your quantum leap statement that's on the screen there. Beautiful. That's us for this morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this morning for day 2. We will see you back here for day 3. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, everyone, and we'll see you all very soon. Bye for now.